Hello, willkommen, ciao, здравствуйте, konnichiwa, bonjour, and whatever else Duolingo keeps yelling at me to learn. Welcome to the Save Room. I am Chris Miller, and for my debut review, I wanted to start with something loud, ridiculous, and fun. That means we're diving into Borderlands 4 from Gearbox. Yes, Borderlands 4, the performance can't perform on my cracker of a PC controversial game. Don't come at me in the comments. I know you got an RTX 6090 and a Margirana 1 CPU, but it didn't get over 10 frames per second. I don't know what to tell you. It ran fine for me. Let's get started. Now, before I jump in, let me explain how reviews work here in the Save Room. I don't do the boring old 1 to 10 score everyone else does. We got something a little more overcomplicated because that's what we all deserve. I break games down into 3 main categories: gameplay, art, and story, or G.A.S. Yeah, maybe I should have thought that acronym through, but fuck it, we'll do it live. Each category gets a score out of 10, but then I also give a factor score, a bar that represents how the game made me feel personally on a scale from 1 to 10. Those scores all combine to a total score of 300 when multiplied. But Chris, why 300? Why not 10 like a normal person? Simple, because I like it. 10 is too simple. 10 is like fast food. You eat it, it's gone. 300 is a big, dumb,
extra thick,
juicy steak. Also, let's be real, there are a lot of games out there. If every game is just a 7 out of 10, what does that really mean? 300 gives us some room to breathe, and yeah, it's a little dramatic, but so am I. Alright, let's start with the big one, gameplay. Borderlands 4 feels like Gearbox rated every other successful game mechanic of the last 5 years and just said, yeah, we'll take that. Thanks, and honestly, it kind of works. The grapple hook makes you feel like Spider-Man, the glide pack makes you feel like Batman, and the ground pound makes you feel like my abusive father. Comes out of nowhere and ruins your day. Yeah, alright. But when you chain these together, you're flying across maps, diving into fights, bouncing between enemies like a psycho with ADHD and a rocket launcher, and that is Borderlands at its best. I rolled with Amon the Forge Knight because I've got a soft spot for Krieg from BL2. I was all in on melee until I got introduced into the shield and ice whip combo, or whatever the proper name for it is, and suddenly I went to a guy with a hammer to unstoppable frozen juggernaut. Every fight felt like a playground. The action skills, solid. Tons of customizations, tons of way to build your character. Some of them felt a little busted, but in a fun way, like, yeah, this is broken, but I'm having a blast. Side missions, way more fleshed out than before. Collectibles, actually worth finding. Lore, surprisingly meaty, if that's what you're into. And the new Echobot? Alright, not the most accurate navigator. Sometimes it felt like it was drunk, but it still saved me from opening up the map every 30 seconds. Plus, being able to fast travel to your buddies and spawn vehicles anywhere? Chef's kiss. My only gripes. Sometimes hit detection was funky, especially reviving teammates. Nothing ruins a co-op moment like crouching over your buddy, mashing revive, and the game just saying, nah, but hey, it's still a nitpick. Gameplay score, 9 out of 10. Borderlands 4 is pure chaos, but the fun kind. Now, let's talk about art. Borderlands has one of the most recognizable styles in gaming. You see those double-cheeked up, thick outlines, those cel-shaded textures, and you instantly know what you're looking at. It's like comic books and graffiti had a baby, and then that baby snorted an energy drink. But here's the thing. Borderlands 4 takes it further. Some of the character designs feel a little too busy, like, did you really need to have 5 different glowing skulls on their chest armor? It's like stuff like that. Sometimes less is more, and BL4 doesn't always get that memo, but when it works, it works. The first level had me a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. I thought they were leaning back into BL3's childish neon glitz thing, which I hated, but after a few hours, it shifted back into that gritty, dusty BL1, BL2 energy, open deserts, busted ruins, alien temples, and it just felt like home again. The environments, though, a little bit repetitive. Open world means you're gonna see the same valleys and cliffs a few too many times, but it's not ugly. but after your 7th mission through the same canyon, you start craving just a little bit more variety. Voice acting, fantastic. Supporting cast and villains were absolute highlights. Whoever did the casting deserves a bonus check. The Vault Hunters themselves, mixed bag. My Forge Knight Amon occasionally dropped into this weird, cringe anime protector voice, more "Hello, princess, your protector is here," than "Badass Knight," and my friends roasted it constantly. The soundtrack, grungy, metal, explosive, it's exactly what you want for Borderlands. They played it safe, sure, but safe works here. Not a cinematic masterpiece by any means, but it amps up firefights and makes loot explosions feel much more epic. Art score, 8 out of 10. Iconic, consistent, and fun, even if it is a little bit too much sometimes. Story. Yes, the story. The eternal weak spot of looter shooters. The good news, it's better than BL3. The bad news, that's not saying that much. BL4 takes itself more seriously, going back to the darker tones with some humor sprinkled in, and the villains are interesting, but not exactly legendary. There's one standout I won't spoil, but overall they didn't hit that handsome Jack tier. And let's be real, that's the curse of Borderlands. BL2's story was lightning in a bottle. Every sequel since then has been chasing that high. With that said, the campaign is definitely worth playing. It's tighter, cleaner, and doesn't feel like you're slogging through filler just to reach the credits. The side quests actually tie into lore, and the pacing doesn't drag like BL3, but it never really soars. It's a good story, just not a great one. Story score, 7 out of 10. Solid, serviceable, but not going on any best narrative lists. Now for the big one, factor score. How much fun did I have personally? Honestly, I had a blast. Borderlands 4 is one of those games where you sit down and play for an hour and suddenly it's 3 a.m., you're knee deep in side quests, and you and your friends are just having a good time. It's chaotic, it's overstuffed, and it doesn't care if you think that it's too much, and that's why it works. This is Borderlands at its best. Stupid fun, addictive, and just polished enough to keep you coming back. Save room factor score, 7 out of 10. This game made me chuckle, curse, and give a couple, hell yeah, brother. That's what I want out of a Borderlands game. So let's tally it up. Gameplay, 9. Art, 8. Story, 7. Factor score, 7. That gives Borderlands 4 a total save room meter score of 168 out of 300. If you're a fan of the series, you're going to love this. If you're new, it's a great entry point. And if you hated BL3, congrats, Gearbox actually listened this time. Thanks for watching. This has been The Save Room. If you like this review, hit the save point, subscribe, like, whatever. You guys know what to do. It's been going on for years. And let me know what you want me to review next. Until then, stay safe and do not forget to berate me in the comments.